Hey everyone, it's Chelsea VanBuskirk with the Heart AF podcast. Hope everyone is doing well out there in the world today. I didn't know this until recently, but oversharing is a trauma response, which totally makes sense because I am someone who has experienced early childhood trauma, and I've been through a lot of things in my life, which you may or may not have picked up on through previous episodes. And I did have something recently come up in my life where I was re-triggered from some of the trauma I experienced as younger Chelsea. And I was put back in little Chelsea's shoes where I was seeing things that I hadn't seen since these traumatic times in my life. And it just reopened all of these wounds for me. And it was very difficult for me to process. And it's something that I'm still struggling with, that I keep replaying in my head. And I'm getting angry and I'm having lots of big feelings because it's things that I dealt with as a young child. And the ending of that was my mom passing away. And that was a big, significant moment in my life. And I was wanting to talk about how I'm one of those people that I do like to share what's going on in my life. I am very vocal and I like to be transparent because we are in this culture where everybody's live and everybody is sharing things all the time, but we're always sharing the good things. I feel like, there are the occasional people are sharing when they've lost a loved one. And I think that's nice where we can come together even in a virtual way to help support and be there for people who are going through grief. But aside from those posts, the most time we see are people posting their highlight reels. And that can be hard because day-to-day life isn't a highlight reel. I like the quote where every day might not be a good day, but there's good in every day. So, we might have highlights in each day. That could be true, but not every day is going to be great, right? Like there's going to be times where you're not okay, and that is okay. And that's why I like to be transparent. That's why I do like to talk so much about the struggles I've been through and the traumas I've been through, because I want to speak up and let people know that they're not alone. That's important to me, to let people know that you're not alone in what you're struggling with. So if you've had times where you've been in scenarios where you're re-triggered by something that might have happened when you're younger, that's okay. And it's okay to talk about it. And I think it's actually healthy to talk about it. You can talk about it with somebody who's trained, who might be a therapist or a counselor or a psychiatrist, something like that, that can help you maybe process if it is a significant trauma. You can find a friend to confide in. Like, I think it's just important to talk about your feelings, because if we don't talk about them, if we let them fester, if we let them sit within, that's where that can cause trouble. And that's something that I want to address, because I have noticed where there's people who want to put on that fake mask and be fake as fuck and pretend like everything's fine when it's not. And they want to just keep up this persona, right? Like they have to keep up appearances, right? Like you see that all the time. They play it out in movies all the time, It's always like these nice big houses and the wealthy families, and then inside is like a prison for some of the people living inside of it, There's things that go on behind closed doors that we just don't know. And I think that there's a flip side to this coin too, is that you should always treat everybody with kindness, because you have no idea what kinds of struggles or internal prisons they might be in, right? You think about people who might be in abusive relationships. Maybe they don't even know they're in an abusive relationship, but they are struggling, but they have this persona that they're trying to keep up, or they're trying to pretend like everything's okay. And so it's just, you never know what kind of struggles people might be dealing with behind closed doors. So it is important to just treat people with kindness, because they might be having a bad day. They might not be able to stand up and voice their frustrations. And so they're internalizing it and keeping it in. And then they get into an interaction with you, a stranger, and they blow up in your face. And then you as the stranger might take it super personally, and it might not have anything to do with you. It's all stuff that they're struggling with at home, and you just don't know. You just don't know. What I guess I'm trying to get at is that I think if we could learn to be more open and vulnerable with people, I think it's important to interact with other humans and share and to support each other. And you can't support each other on this fake superficial level. It just doesn't work. I've had instances where I'm in a conversation with somebody. I'm oversharing, obviously, because I'm a person who has trauma in their life, but I open myself up to people because again, like from my perspective, I like sharing things because I think it, one, helps me to talk about it, because sometimes we go through things and It's like people want to pretend like it didn't happen, or sometimes talking about it is just a way to know that it really happened, right? Because I feel like sometimes in our minds, we can get to where we try to rationalize some of the traumas I think we've been through, or we try to just kind of ignore issues because it's too painful to look at. And no, like I want to fucking talk about it. I want people to know and realize like this was a problem. This is something that affected me and it did happen. I think it's important to get that out. Like you can't let that sit in you. You can't pretend like this didn't happen. Because when you pretend like it didn't happen, it just sits there. It's still there until you deal with your shit. Shit's going to keep happening. Shit's going to keep popping up. And that's why I think this specific situation happened recently to me, to know that I still have unresolved trauma. I still have unresolved anger that's inside me from when I was a girl dealing with my mom as an addict. And that's the truth. And I think I'm getting shown experiences to help me heal those wounds inside me. And that's why I wanted to get on here today and kind of talk about that is if you do have things in your life that are not going well, it is up to you to be responsible and to make changes and to figure your shit out so you can have a better life. So you don't have to be stuck in pretending and living this fake as fuck life like everything's okay when it's not. It's okay that things are not okay. But that's when you start asking yourself questions like, what can I do about that? You are responsible for yourself. You are responsible for your life. Okay. And sometimes that's what I have a hard time with is because I want to take on others' responsibility. Like I want to take the responsibility for other people's decisions. I want to help them and I want to tell them what to do. But that's not how it works. Like we all are our own people. Like we have our own responsibilities and how we handle certain situations. And it just sucks to see it as an outsider, right? Like it sucks to see people you love and care about like destroy themselves or live these fake ass lives pretending like they're happy and everything's okay when you know that in the reality things are not okay, things are not happy, things are spiraling and it's going to get worse. And it's hard to sit back and see that. Like you want to be able to go in and fix it and you can't. You have to step back and let things kind of play out the way they're going to because it's not your responsibility. Like your responsibility is yourself. So that's one of those important questions where you have to ask yourself, what's in my control? You know, I can't control other people. I can't control what's going to happen. I don't have any control on how other people behave or act, but I have control over me. I can set boundaries for myself. I can keep myself safe, right? I can decide how I respond to things. I can decide how I want to live my life. I can decide what I want to do that brings me joy, right? And that was probably a big turning point for me in my life when I realized that I had responsibility in my life, that I was the one responsible for my own happiness. Like, I guess you could say is where I stopped being a victim, right? Like I stopped blaming my problems on everybody else. I stopped saying it was this person's fault in my life. Like, well, because this happened, this is why I'm this, you know? It was like, no, you may have gone through some shitty things. People may have done some shitty things to you in the past. These things happened, but it's your responsibility on what you do with that, right? Like it's your responsibility on how you handle and how you go forward. You can let that drag you down and keep you in that victim mindset, or you can be proactive and be the victor and actually do something and change your life. Like that's possible. It's possible for anybody. Any of you, if you're unhappy in any situation, in any capacity in your life, you have the power to make changes on that. You have the power to decide for yourself right now, right this minute, if you're not happy with something, if you're struggling with something, then you can find a solution for it. You just have to just know your power and know that you can do things. Like you can make choices. You have a choice every day. What did I hear today? I think it was a yoga class today. It was like, you have a choice every day to be peaceful, or I don't know what it was, but I'll say pissed off. Like you literally can. You can decide each day, each moment, whether or not you're going to be pissed off or peaceful about a situation, right? We literally have choices every day. We have way more power than we think we do. Like we'll curse everybody and say, we can't do this and we can't do that because of this and because of that. And it's like, well, really? Do you know with 100% certainty that you can or can't do that? Like 100% you know you can't? Anyway, I know I'm getting really worked up about this, but it's just, like I said, this is what's been going on in my life recently. I was re-triggered and had to revisit some of these old wounds that I thought were healed. And the universe is like, ha, no, you're not. You think you are, but you still got work to do, my friend. So I'm like, okay, I see you and I will get on that. So I did. I did make an appointment with my counselor and I am going through some of these feelings I'm having because I'm telling you, it was almost like I was re-traumatized. Like I was back in that space where I was as younger Chelsea. I was that little girl experiencing these things. So I had to, go through and see what those wounds are that I need to go back and heal and those emotions that I need to deal with, right? Like you can't let those things sit within you. You can't let things fester and you can only pretend for so long is what I really want to say. You can only pretend for so long that things are okay. Because if they're not, it's going to come crumbling down. Like when you build your foundation with shitty materials, it's going to crumble down. So when you use those fake shitty materials, that foundation is going to crumble. But if you build your foundation on solid ground, when you're healed, that's when the foundation can be built. When you heal yourself and you're honest and you just deal with your shit, you have the capabilities to build a beautiful foundation and build a beautiful life that is meant for you. Like we are all meant to have a joyful, fulfilling life. We are all deserving of that. And I think that's the biggest thing too, is when you get sucked into thinking you don't deserve something and you just like drive yourself down. I'm getting all worked up and going all kinds of directions. But yeah, like I said, you got to deal with those wounds and you got to be honest with yourself on like, what am I doing that's causing my life to crumble? And it takes being honest with yourself and stop being so fake and admitting when things are not okay. It's like we're so afraid to voice that things aren't okay. Like we want to keep up this persona and it's like, why? People are going to have opinions of you no matter what. It's not something you can control. Right? You can't control how people think about you. It is not your business what other people think of you. It's not. I mean, you can't control that. Like, how do you think about you? That's what you should think about. Like if it was just you and you didn't have to worry about what anybody else thought, like, are you okay with how your life is? Are you happy? Are you doing everything you can do to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you are going after the life that you want, like to create your happiness? Like you really have to, I think, dig deep to get to that mindset, to get on that path of knowing what's my responsibility in my life. And if I'm not happy and things aren't going the way I want them to, what's my responsibility in that? What can I do? Again, I go back to that question, what can you control and what can't you control? And then, what's my responsibility and what's not my responsibility? Well, it's not other people's responsibility to make you happy. I'll tell you that. Like, that's on you. Like, it's not your spouse's job to make you happy. It's not your kid's job to make you happy. You are responsible for that. You are responsible for taking care of yourself and making sure your needs are met. And I know for me, that was a big thing for the longest time. Like, I just was expecting other people to make me happy or expecting my husband to act a certain way or my kids to act a certain way. And that was going to make me happy. But it's like, no, like I had to actually voice my needs and let them know what I needed and take the initiative on some things. Like you can't just assume things are going to work out or that they're supposed to, and then act like a victim when they don't work out the way you wanted them to. Like you can't control other people. So you have to figure out what you can do, what's in your power to do for yourself. And that's all you got to do. You got to be proactive. You got to be your own advocate. That's probably my biggest piece of advice. You have to be your own advocate and you have to take responsibility for your life and stop being fake as fuck. Those are my 3 things for this episode, So I ain't got time for that shit. I'm done. The more and more I grow in my own self-love, my own self-confidence, the more and more I'm confidently able to like call out people's shit. And I'm done being okay with people's fakeness. I'm not going to be confrontational about it. Like I'm not going to start fights about it when I know people are being fake to me, but I'm just going to not give it my energy is what I'm going to do. So that's how I'm setting a boundary there. If people want to be fake and want to pretend like things are okay when they're not, or just when people like lie to you, people don't want to be real. Like they want to just, it's like, why? It's fine though. That's the new thing that I'm learning, or my boundary that I'm setting is keeping my energy and my space safe and not taking on anybody else's chaos, right? Somebody said something to me recently. They said, don't let another person's chaos be your chaos. And that's so perfect. That's so true. Like, don't let other people's bullshit be your bullshit. Stay in your own lane. Like you don't need to take it on. So going back to like, your responsibility for your life, you're not responsibility for anybody else. Like you protect yourself, keep your boundaries up, and then focus on you. What can you do for you? What can you be in charge of in your life to make progress and live it how you want to? Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. Find me on Instagram or Facebook at Chelsea.VanBuskirk, or you can find me on my website at ChelseaVanBuskirk.com. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Send me a DM, follow me, friend request me, share this episode if it resonated with you. I love to get feedback. If you've got questions, if you want to talk, if you have a comment about the episode, if there's something you want me to elaborate on, because I know I talk fast and I know that my mind goes a million miles a minute. So sometimes I bounce around, but if something hit with you, let me know so we can dissect it further. And yeah, I'm sending everybody positive energy and just, do you, boo. That's what I gotta say. Do you, be real, and take responsibility for your life. Make sure you do what you need to do for you. You get to decide what makes you happy. Figure out what makes you happy and do that. Yeah, you do you. Peace out.